Hey, I just listened to that new Korn album Requiem. It just recently came out. It got 9 tracks on there, and I actually bought the cassette version. Well, I was trying to click cassettes now, but I digress. I noticed this on this album. It kind of sounds tame compared to what Korn is known for. Of course, they're getting a lot older, much older, so they're not going to sound like the Korn from the mid '90s, from 1994. They can't put out those same tracks, but I'm just saying, like on this album Requiem, it features of course it features the sounds of all five members, uh, 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 putting in their signature Korn sound with Monkey and Head as the guitarist and Fieldy on the bass. But like some of the songs are tame compared to what Korn is known for putting out. With songs like Forgotten and Start the Healing, it kind of puts me in that melodic sound. Like I'm used to that hard crunchy sound, but like a lot of these songs that have that on there, but like, especially songs like Hopeless and Beating and Penance to Sorrow. Of course, it had all of these songs had uh, John Davis traditional sad, depressive lyrics. But what I noticed is that he didn't curse as much as he normally does in this album that he does with other albums. Like in this album, he kept the cursing to a minimum. Now, see, back in the early days, like the first 5, 6 Korn albums, he used to let it loose with the sailor mouth. But he kind of toned it down with the cursing. You have songs like Disconnect and Penance to Sorrow, which had that Korn vibe mixed in with that a melodic feel. Like you could hear the I notice that the pain is going away in John Davis' voice, even though around this time he recorded this album, his wife had died. I don't know if she died of a drug overdose or committed suicide, but when they was recording this, John was coping with the loss of his wife, and Fieldy left the band temporarily to go do his side project with Sonny from POD, an alternative rock ensemble. Okay, but you could tell he was trying to mask the pain of losing his wife while recording these songs. And for some reason, he didn't let loose on this album compared to all his other albums like the first Korn album, Life is Peachy, or Follow the Leader, like those the Korn from those albums is nowhere near the sound on this album. This is a whole different. It's like they when they're going to a whole different direction. They keep it a little sprinkle of what of Korn's signature sound, but it's like they're going to a whole different direction with this Requiem album. But the last song on there, which is called Worst is on its way. It shows John David. It shows John doing his signature grunts, his gibberish grunts that inatu nap tap 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 inatu nap tap. Like I wish he did a whole album where he's doing those gibberish grunts because that's what I tune into whenever they do make a Korn album because that's what makes Korn unique. John Davis' signature gibberish grunts. And that was the only album, that was the only song in this album that sounded like that. I like the Requiem album, but not as much as I like some of the first 5 albums. I like those more than I like this Requiem album. This album is good, but it kind of sounds like the B sides to their album, a previous album called The Nothing. It sounds like that's what it sounds like. Like it sounds like the B sides, but it's a pretty good album. From a scale of 1 to 10, I give it a 7. From a scale of 1 to 20, I give it a 16.